What if I told you the food you've been relying on for protein your whole life, eggs, isn't nearly as powerful as you think? And what if there was another food, hidden in plain sight, that has 20 times more protein and can help fight the most dangerous condition threatening your independence after 60? Sarcopenia, the silent loss of muscle. Sarcopenia is not a medical word to brush aside. It is the reason so many older adults struggle to get out of a chair, climb stairs, or even carry groceries. It is the condition that slowly robs strength from your legs, shrinks your muscles, and makes falls more likely. And here is the shocking part. It can begin long before you realize it, even if you think you are eating enough protein. We've been told that eggs are the gold standard of protein, and yes, they are good. One egg gives you around 6 grams of protein, but here's the truth. 6 grams is not enough to protect muscle from wasting away when your body is losing strength at an accelerated rate. In fact, studies show that after 60, your muscle cells don't respond to protein the same way they did in your 30s. They need more, much more, which is why researchers are turning their attention to a surprising superfood that contains 20 times more protein than an egg, gram for gram. Now, I'm not talking about steak, I'm not talking about chicken breast, and I'm not even talking about fish. This protein powerhouse doesn't come from an animal at all, it comes from the plant kingdom. And the latest science shows it has a unique ability to trigger muscle growth, protect your mitochondria, and fuel the regeneration of muscle fibers that keep your legs, arms, and back strong. But here's the kicker. Most people don't eat it. Many have never even heard of it. And yet, cultures that include this food in their daily diet show lower rates of frailty, less disability with age, and stronger muscle function even into their 70s and 80s. In a moment, I'll tell you exactly what this food is. But first, let's just talk about why eggs alone can save your muscles, and why relying only on them may actually give you a false sense of security. Think about the first time you realized your legs weren't as strong as they used to be. Maybe it was when you reached for a handrail on the staircase, even though years ago you ran up those same stairs without thinking. Or maybe it was when carrying groceries suddenly felt heavier, or when standing from a low chair required a little push from your hands. These are not just signs of getting older. These are early clues of sarcopenia, the silent thief of muscle. And here's where most people make a crucial mistake. They think, I'll just eat more eggs. Eggs are protein, right? But the science shows us that it's not just the amount of protein that matters. It's the type of protein, the amino acids it delivers, and how easily your muscles can use it. Eggs provide good protein, but they're limited. They don't supply the density, variety, or bioavailability that older muscle fibers truly need to rebuild and regenerate. Now imagine this. One egg gives you 6 grams of protein, but what if you could eat a food that delivers 20 times more protein per serving? That means, instead of barely maintaining your muscle, you could actually stimulate new muscle fibers, strengthen the mitochondria that power your muscle cells, and even protect your nerves and blood vessels at the same time. This isn't science fiction. This is modern nutritional science uncovering a food that's been overlooked for far too long. Before I reveal it, let's look at why sarcopenia is so dangerous. When muscle melts away, it's not just strength you lose. It's independence, your balance goes, your metabolism slows down, your blood sugar control weakens, and falls become deadly because a frail body cannot cushion itself. In fact, research shows that sarcopenia triples the risk of fractures and doubles the risk of hospitalization. But here's the good news. Sarcopenia is not irreversible. With the right nutrition, your muscles can actually come back to life, even in your 70s and beyond. So, what is this food with 20 times more protein than an egg? Let's set the stage. It's not expensive. It doesn't require cooking. It's natural, plant-based, and used by some of the healthiest populations in the world. And when you consume it consistently, studies show it improves grip strength, leg muscle mass, and even walking speed in older adults. That food is spirulina, the deep green-blue algae that grows in freshwater lakes and ponds. Spirulina is, by weight, almost 60 to 70% protein. To put that into perspective, 1 tablespoon of spirulina powder contains as much protein as a full serving of chicken breast and 20 times more than an egg. But it's not just about quantity. Spirulina provides a complete amino acid profile, meaning it delivers all the building blocks your muscles crave, plus antioxidants that protect your mitochondria and blood vessels. But here's something most people don't know. Spirulina S protein is absorbed more efficiently than animal protein because it's S-bound to fewer fats and fibers. That means your body can take it in quickly, almost like a muscle infusion. And that's exactly what your muscles need after 60, when they become less responsive to protein signals. Spirulina delivers a direct wake-up call to those sleepy muscle fibers. And here's where it gets even more fascinating. Researchers have discovered that spirulina not only protects muscle mass, but it also improves blood circulation to muscles during exercise. That means stronger legs, more endurance, and less fatigue when walking, climbing stairs, or even just standing up from a chair. But don't rush off to the store just yet. Because while spirulina is powerful, most people make critical mistakes when they try to add it into their diet. Mistakes that cancel out its benefits completely. And in a moment, I'll reveal the 3 most common mistakes and how to avoid them, so you can unlock the full muscle-saving potential of spirulina. Now, before you imagine yourself sprinkling spirulina onto every meal, let's pause. Because here's the truth. Most people who try spirulina don't feel any difference. They buy it, they take it for a week, and then they quit. And it's not because spirulina doesn't work. It's because they make 3 critical mistakes that rob them of the muscle-protecting power this superfood can deliver. The first mistake is taking too little. Many people sprinkle a half teaspoon of spirulina powder into their smoothie and think they're re-getting the benefits. But at that dose, you're only getting a fraction of what your muscles actually need. Studies that show measurable improvements in muscle strength and endurance often use doses of 2 to 3 grams daily. That's the equivalent of about 1 teaspoon or more. Not overwhelming, but definitely more than a tiny pinch. The second mistake is taking spirulina with the wrong foods. Remember this. Spirulina's amino acids need to be absorbed quickly to reach your muscles. If you mix it into a heavy, fatty meal, say fried foods or a milkshake loaded with cream, you slow down digestion and blunt its effect. Instead, spirulina works best with light, hydrating meals. A morning smoothie with fruit and water, or a mid-afternoon shake with greens, allows spirulina's protein to reach your bloodstream fast. And the third mistake is inconsistency. Muscles don't rebuild in a day. Just like you can't go to the gym once and expect 6-pack abs, you can't take spirulina once a week and expect it to rescue your muscle mass. The secret is daily, consistent use. 1 teaspoon every day. Over weeks and months, that steady supply of amino acids fuels the regeneration of muscle fibers. Slowly, you begin to notice stairs feel easier, your legs feel steadier, your energy doesn't crash in the middle of the day. So here's the takeaway: dosage, timing, and consistency. Get these 3 right, and spirulina becomes one of the most powerful weapons against sarcopenia you will ever have in your kitchen. But spirulina isn't just about protein. It has another secret. This algae contains phycocyanin, a unique antioxidant that protects your mitochondria, the tiny batteries inside your muscle cells that generate energy. Think of mitochondria like spark plugs in your car. If they're weak, your engine sputters. If they're strong, your muscles fire with energy. Spirulina keeps those spark plugs firing cleanly, which means your muscles stay stronger, longer. And that's not all. Spirulina also improves nitric oxide production in your blood vessels, which expands circulation. Better blood flow means more oxygen and nutrients reach your muscles. That's why spirulina doesn't just protect your strength, it helps your endurance. Imagine walking a mile without stopping to catch your breath. Imagine lifting a bag of groceries without straining. That's the ripple effect of better circulation paired with muscle regeneration. Now let's connect this to the bigger picture. Sarcopenia isn't only about your muscles. It raises your risk of diabetes, heart disease, even cognitive decline. Why? Because when your muscle mass shrinks, your body loses its largest reservoir for burning glucose and regulating metabolism. By fighting sarcopenia, you're not just protecting your ability to walk, you're protecting your blood sugar, your heart, your brain. Spirulina gives you that edge, not just for strength, but for longevity. But there's still a question. When should you take spirulina for the maximum benefit? In the morning to start your day, at night to rebuild while you sleep, or before exercise to fuel endurance? The answer may surprise you, because the timing depends on your goal. And that's exactly what I'll reveal next. So let S answer the question everyone is asking. When is the best time to take spirulina? Because timing isn't just a detail. It can make the difference between wasted potential and powerful results. If your goal is to energize your muscles for the day ahead, then morning is your best time. Taking spirulina in a light smoothie or with water delivers a surge of amino acids and antioxidants right when your muscles and mitochondria are waking up. Think of it as priming the engine before you start the drive. Your muscles get the fuel they need to stay steady as you walk, move, and climb stairs. But if your goal is to repair and rebuild muscle while you sleep, then nighttime is surprisingly effective. Why? Because your muscles regenerate most deeply during rest. That's when your body releases growth hormone, clears out damaged proteins, and knits new fibers. By taking spirulina in the evening, perhaps stirred into a warm tea or mixed with a light snack, you give your muscles a slow, steady infusion of amino acids right when they are most eager to rebuild. Many people who try this report waking up with less stiffness and more morning strength. And what about exercise? If you want to boost performance and endurance, taking spirulina 30 minutes before activity can be powerful. Its amino acids and nitric oxide boosting compounds improve circulation, so your muscles get oxygen faster. That means less fatigue, more stamina, and quicker recovery afterward. Imagine climbing a hill or cycling without that heavy leg feeling. Spirulina gives your muscles the oxygen-rich blood they crave. So which is best? Here's the secret. You don't have to choose just one. Many people use spirulina twice daily, once in the morning to energize and once at night to rebuild. That double strategy feeds your muscles both when they are working and when they are repairing. Now I know what you might be thinking. Can one simple algae really have this much impact on something as serious as sarcopenia? And the answer is yes. Clinical studies confirm it. In one study, older adults who consumed spirulina daily showed measurable improvements in grip strength and walking speed in just 12 weeks. In another study, spirulina reduced markers of oxidative stress in muscle tissue, which means less damage, less fatigue, and more resilience. But here's the bigger story. Spirulina isn't just a food, it's a signal. Every bite tells your body, stay strong, keep building. Don't give up your independence. That's the message your muscles desperately need, especially after 60, when sarcopenia quietly accelerates. And the earlier you begin sending that signal, the more years of strength and freedom you preserve. But, and here's the twist, spirulina alone is not enough, because while it delivers extraordinary protein, your muscles also need support from two other nutritional allies that most people overlook. Without them, even spirulina's power is cut in half. And in a moment, I'll reveal what those two allies are, and how to combine them with spirulina to create the ultimate anti-sarcopenia strategy. So let's return to the big picture. Spirulina delivers extraordinary protein. It's dense, it's fast-absorbing, and it speaks directly to your muscle fibers. But here's where most people stumble. They think protein alone is enough, and the truth is, it isn't. Protein is only part of the equation. For your muscles to actually use that protein, to turn it into strength, you need two other powerful allies. Without them, your efforts fall flat. The first ally is omega-3 fatty acids. Think of omega-3s as the lubricant for your muscle machinery. When your cells are inflamed, they become stiff, resistant, and slow to respond to protein signals. Omega-3s reduce that inflammation, making your muscle fibers more receptive. In fact, research shows that when omega-3s are combined with high-quality protein, older adults experience a much greater boost in muscle synthesis compared to protein alone. That means your muscle fibers actually rebuild more efficiently. And here's the beautiful part. Spirulina itself contains small amounts of omega-3s, but pairing it with fatty fish like salmon or even chia and flax seeds multiplies the effect. The second ally is vitamin D, and this one is critical. Vitamin D isn't just about bone health, it's actually a hormone that signals your muscle cells to take in calcium and contract properly. Without enough vitamin D, your muscles weaken, no matter how much protein you eat. Studies show that older adults with low vitamin D levels are almost twice as likely to experience sarcopenia. That's a sobering statistic, but also empowering, because it means correcting vitamin D can flip the script. Sunlight exposure, fortified foods, or supplementation can keep those levels steady. And when you combine vitamin D with spirulina's protein, your muscle fibers don't just survive, they thrive. So here's the formula. Spirulina for dense, fast-absorbing protein. Omega-3s to reduce inflammation and open the door for protein use. Vitamin D to power muscle contraction and coordination. When you weave these three together, you create a muscle-saving trio that protects not just strength, but independence. Imagine this picture. You wake up in the morning, and instead of dragging yourself out of bed with stiffness, you feel a lightness in your legs. You stand without groaning. You take the stairs without gripping the railing. Your hands feel steady enough to carry groceries without trembling. That is the life this trio builds for you. A life where sarcopenia doesn't write your story. But there's still one more piece we haven't talked about. Because while nutrition is the foundation, there's a hidden trigger that either accelerates sarcopenia or slows it down. And it's not about food at all. It's about something you do or don't do every single day. In fact, most people are making the mistake right now without realizing it. And unless you fix it, even the best diet won't save your muscles. I'll explain exactly what that hidden trigger is and how to flip it in your favor next. Now let's reveal that hidden trigger. It isn't exotic. It isn't complicated. In fact, it's something you face every single day, often without thinking about it. The greatest accelerator of sarcopenia, the force that steals muscle faster than any other, is inactivity. Sitting for long stretches, moving less, spending hours in a chair or on the couch. Here's what the science shows. Your muscles are not just bundles of fibers. They are living tissues that demand constant signals from your nervous system. Every time you stand, walk, or even shift your body weight, your muscles receive a message. Stay alive, stay strong, keep building. But when you sit for hours without movement, those signals fall silent. Muscle protein synthesis drops, mitochondria go dormant, and strength begins to drain away. Researchers now call sitting the new smoking, not just for your heart, but for your muscles too. And here's the kicker. Sarcopenia progresses even faster when inactivity pairs with poor nutrition. Imagine fueling your body with protein, but never sending the signal to use it. That's like filling your car with gasoline, but never turning the key. The fuel sits there unused, slowly evaporating. This is why so many people take in protein, yet continue losing strength. But here's the empowering truth. You don't need hours in the gym to flip this trigger. Even small, consistent movements throughout the day reawaken your muscle machinery. A 10-minute walk after breakfast, standing up and stretching every 30 minutes. Light resistance exercises, like rising from a chair 10 times in a row, signal your muscles that you still need them. And when you combine these signals with the protein of spirulina, the anti-inflammatory power of omega-3s, and the muscle-activating role of vitamin D, something extraordinary happens. Your body doesn't just slow muscle loss, it begins to rebuild. And I want you to picture this. Imagine yourself a year from now. Instead of worrying about losing balance, you're striding confidently. Instead of fearing weakness, you're lifting, moving, and living with energy. Instead of dreading decline, you're writing a new story of resilience. That's the outcome of pairing the right foods with the right daily signals. Now, there's one last piece of the puzzle that most people forget. Because even if you fuel your muscles and move your body, a silent saboteur can still undo your progress. It lurks not in your kitchen or your chair, but in your mind and in your body's stress response. And unless you learn how to disarm it, sarcopenia will find its way back in. I'll explain what that saboteur is and the simple way to overcome it next. So what is this silent saboteur that creeps in and undoes so much of the progress people make with nutrition and movement? It's something you can't see, but you can feel. It's chronic stress and poor sleep. Let me explain why this matters so deeply for your muscles. When stress lingers in your body, your brain signals your adrenal glands to release cortisol. Cortisol is often called the stress hormone, and in small amounts, it's not dangerous. But when it stays high, day after day, night after night, it becomes toxic to your muscles. Cortisol literally blocks muscle protein synthesis. It tells your body to break down protein, not build it. And the more cortisol circulates, the faster your muscle fibers shrink, no matter how much spirulina, fish, or vitamin D you take. Now combine that stress with poor sleep, and you have the perfect storm for sarcopenia. During deep sleep, your body produces growth hormone, the natural spark that tells your muscles, repair, rebuild, grow stronger. But when your sleep is shallow, disrupted, or too short, that growth hormone signal never comes. Your muscles stay unrepaired like a construction site abandoned halfway through the job. Night after night, the damage accumulates until weakness takes hold. But here's the hopeful truth. Just as stress and poor sleep can accelerate muscle loss, calm and deep rest can reverse it. When you practice simple stress-reducing habits, like evening walks, deep breathing, or gratitude journaling, you lower cortisol levels, which clears the way for protein to do its job. And when you prioritize sleep, keeping your room cool, dark, and quiet, avoiding screens before bed, you create the environment your body needs to flood your muscles with growth hormone. And this is where spirulina has another hidden advantage. Remember those antioxidants, especially phycocyanin that spirulina contains? They reduce oxidative stress in your cells, which lowers inflammation and helps regulate cortisol. Taken at night, spirulina not only provides amino acids for repair, but also helps your body shift into a calmer state, so your sleep becomes deeper and more restorative. Picture this. Instead of tossing and turning, your body drifts into steady rest. Cortisol falls. Growth hormone rises. Spirulina's amino acids enter your bloodstream quietly, fueling muscle fibers as they knit themselves back together. And when the sun rises, you wake with muscles that are not weaker, but stronger. This is the cycle you can build, a cycle that defends you against sarcopenia night after night. So let's bring all the pieces together. Spirulina as the protein powerhouse, omega-3s as the anti-inflammatory lubricant, vitamin D as the activator, daily movement as the trigger, stress management and sleep as the foundation. Together they form a complete shield against sarcopenia, a shield that can preserve not just your muscle, but your independence, your energy, your future. But there's still one more surprising twist, because while these strategies protect your muscles, there is also a set of foods, common foods, that actually accelerate sarcopenia and cancel out all your hard work. Foods that inflame, deplete, and block protein absorption. And the worst part? Many people eat them every single morning. In the next part, I'll reveal exactly what those foods are, and how avoiding them may be just as important as adding spirulina to your life. So far, we've focused on what builds muscle, but let me ask you this. What if the very foods you reach for every morning, the ones you think are safe or even healthy, are quietly tearing your muscles apart? What if, without realizing it, you're feeding sarcopenia instead of fighting it? The truth is, some foods trigger inflammation, drain your protein reserves, or interfere with nutrient absorption. They create the exact opposite environment your muscles need to grow, and when you combine these foods with aging, it's like pouring gasoline on a fire. The first culprit is refined sugar and processed carbs, the sweetened cereals, the pastries, the white bread toast. These foods cause blood sugar to spike and with it, insulin. Over time, repeated sugar surges make your muscles resistant to insulin, which means they can't absorb amino acids efficiently. You may eat plenty of protein, even spirulina, but if your muscles can't use it, it's wasted. Worse, sugar promotes inflammation, which breaks down muscle tissue even faster. The second enemy is processed meats, the sausages, hot dogs, deli slices, and bacon. Many people lean on these foods thinking, it's meat, so it must be good for muscle. But here's the dark truth. Processed meats are loaded with preservatives, nitrates, and unhealthy fats. They inflame your blood vessels, increase oxidative stress, and block the very protein synthesis your muscles depend on. Over time, they trade muscle mass for fat mass, leaving you weaker, stiffer, and more vulnerable. And then there's alcohol. A glass of wine here, a beer there, it doesn't seem like much, but alcohol directly interferes with protein metabolism in your muscles. It reduces testosterone and growth hormone, two signals your body relies on to maintain strength. Even moderate drinking, especially in the evening, disrupts sleep cycles, which means fewer hours in the deep restorative stage where muscle repair happens. It's like pulling the plug on your body's recovery process. Finally, there's a hidden saboteur most people never consider: excessive salt from processed foods. High sodium doesn't just raise blood pressure, it also leaches calcium and magnesium from your body. Without these minerals, your muscles can't contract or relax properly. The result is cramping, weakness, and a gradual erosion of muscle strength that sneaks up on you. Think about it. If spirulina is the fuel and movement is the spark, then these foods are the water being poured over the fire. They don't just fail to help, they actively smother your body's ability to stay strong. But here's the empowering shift. Once you remove these foods, the changes are often dramatic. Blood sugar steadies, inflammation cools, protein finally starts flowing into your muscles where it belongs, and suddenly every bite of spirulina, every step on your walk, every night of sleep works in your favor again. This is the turning point for so many people. Because muscle health isn't just about what you add, it's also about what you subtract. Remove the silent saboteurs, and you'll unlock the full healing power of your food. Now you might be wondering, if spirulina is so powerful and these foods are so damaging, what's the best way to bring all this knowledge into a simple daily rhythm? How do you structure a morning, an afternoon, and an evening so that your muscles are constantly in repair mode, not breakdown mode? That's exactly where we're headed next. So here's the truth. Sarcopenia isn't inevitable. Muscle loss isn't a quiet surrender you have to accept with age. It is a condition you can fight if you give your body the tools it truly needs. Spirulina, omega-3s, vitamin D, movement, restful sleep, and avoiding the foods that sabotage your muscles, these aren't just tips. They are a proven science-backed strategy to protect your strength, your balance, and your independence. Picture yourself weeks from now, stepping out of bed without stiffness, climbing stairs without hesitation, lifting groceries with ease, moving freely and confidently. That life is not out of reach. It begins with the choices you make today, in your kitchen, in your living room, and in your habits every single day. So don't wait. Add this protein powerhouse to your routine. Pair it with its allies, keep your body moving. Protect your sleep and eliminate the hidden saboteurs. Every action you take now is a step towards stronger muscles, more energy, and a future where you remain independent, active, and alive to enjoy the life you love. Your muscles can be rebuilt, your strength can return, and it all starts with the first step, today.